Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hi everyone, we are from 1F group from accounting major. So today we're gonna do the presentation about lifestyle between Indonesia versus United States. Before we start, let me introduce the teamwork. My name is Qanita Emirah Chaya.
My name is Diva, Cahya, Julita.
My name is Naura, Putri, Dinova. And my name is Puji, Khairatunnisa.
Let's start the presentation, and the first subtopic will explain by Puji.
Hello everyone, I'm Puji, and today I'd like to talk about cultural perspectives, especially the similarities and differences between Indonesia and American culture. For the first, I will explain about similarities. Let's start with family. Both Indonesia and America see family as something very important. Family gives love, care, and support. People in both countries love spending time together, like having dinner, watching movies, or celebrating special days. And next, both cultures believe that success comes from hard work. In Indonesia, we're taught that discipline and effort lead to good results. Meanwhile, in the US, people believe in the American dream, which means anyone can achieve success through hard work and determination. Another similarity is the value of helping others. In Indonesia, we have gotong royong. It's like working together to help our community. And in the US, people often do volunteer work to support social causes. Both believe that helping others makes the community stronger and happier. Next, education is also highly valued in both countries. Parents always encourage their children to study hard because education is seen as the key to a better future. For the fifth, both Indonesia and America care about freedom and fairness. In Indonesia, these values come from Pancasila, while in the US, they are seen as basic human rights. People in both countries believe that everyone deserves respect and equal treatment. And next, Indonesia and the US are both very diverse. Indonesia has many ethnic groups and traditions, while America has people from all around the world. Even though people are different, both cultures teach tolerance and respect for others. And finally, both Indonesian and Americans love celebrations. Whether it's a birthday, graduation, or national holiday, people enjoy gathering, sharing food, and celebrating together with family and friends. Okay, let's move to other slides. And now I will explain you guys about differences. And for the first, religious education in school. In Indonesia, religion is taught in school because it's part of the national values. But in America, religion is a personal choice, so public schools don't include it in their lessons. Second, about celebrating birthdays. In Indonesia, birthday celebration can be quite fun and unique, sometimes with tasyakuran or even funny games using flour and eggs. But in the US, it's usually simpler, like having dinner or a small party with close friends and family. For the third, independence. In Indonesia, parents usually want their children to stay home until they get married. But in America, young adults are encouraged to live independently once they are mature enough. Let's move for other slides. About marriage. In Indonesia, people are often expected to get married in their 20s. In the US, marriage is more flexible. People decide when or if they want to get married. And next, about expressing yourself. Indonesia focus more on politeness and good manners based on Pancasila values. But Americans are usually more open and expressive. They feel free to show their opinions, styles, and ideas. And less about power distance. In Indonesia, we use titles like Mr. or and to show respect to older people. But in the US, people usually call each other by the first names, even older ones, because relationships are seen as more equal and casual. Thank you very much for listening. So let's move for other subtopics, and that will be explained by Naura.
Hello everyone. Today we'll explore the fascinating differences and surprising similarities between how people dress in Indonesia and the United States. Now we move to next slide. This is the key differences. So, the differences between Indonesian and American dress can be understood through the four key lenses. First is formality and context. Indonesia is largely a high context dressing society. This means what you wear is heavily depend on the specific situation, like what to wear to a mosque or church, a traditional wedding, or a government office. In contrast, in the US is a low context dressing society. The rules are much flexible. The smart casual style can fit a wide range of occasions, and overall American daily wear is famously casual. Second is cultural and religious influence. In Indonesia, clothing is often influenced by religious norms, particularly regarding modesty and a deep respect for a cultural tradition. Meanwhile, in the US, the dominant influences are individualism and comfort. The third is climate and fabrics. This is a straightforward but crucial difference. Indonesia's tropical climate demands light, airy, breathable fabrics like cotton and rayon to manage the heat and humidity. The United States, with its vastly varied climates from the freezing winters of Alaska to the hot summers of Arizona, requires a wardrobe capable of layering, featuring everything heavy wool and knit to light cottons. The fourth is national identity. So, each country has the iconic garment that speaks volumes. In Indonesia, it's batik. More than just a pattern, it's a technique of wax resist dyeing that carries deep philosophical meanings and is a source of national pride. Meanwhile, in America, the iconic garment is denim jeans. They symbolize informality, ruggedness, freedom, and the democratic spirit. So for the next is the similarities. Despite the differences, globalization has created significant similarities. As we can see in this slide, there are four similarities both of this region. The first is globalized fashion. In the skyscrapers of Jakarta and the office of US, you will see the same uniform like Western style suits, dress shirt, and blouses. This is the standard for international business. The second is universal casual wear. So when you walk through any mall or university campus in both countries, you will see the same sight like jeans, t-shirts, sneakers, and hoodies. This has become the global uniform for younger generation. For the third is expression and brands. In both nations, people use clothing to express their identity and status. Furthermore, both societies are highly conscious of major international brands which dominate retail space. Thank you for listening. That's all enough for me. For the next topic will be explained by my friends Qanita.
Hi, I'm Qanita, and I like to explain about food and eating habits between Indonesia versus America. So let's start with the similarities. For the first, it's about three main meals a day. So both Indonesians and Americans generally eat three main meals a day, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This routine reflects the global norm and shows how basic needs are met similarly across cultures. And the second is influence of globalization. So, globalization has had a significant influence on both countries' food habits. For example, popular fast food chains like McD and KFC are popular in Indonesian market. Meanwhile, Indonesian dishes are found and popular too in the United States. Like in the America, we can found the restaurant Indonesia, and they sell like nasi goreng or rendang or something else. Or you can find too Indomie are popular there are popular too in America. Um, and the third is about expression of identity. In both countries, food is a powerful expressions of identity and social bonding. Sharing meal with a family or friends is a key social activity, and a special occasion are often celebrated with big meals and or gatherings. Then we move to the differences food and eating habits between America and Indonesia. For the first is differences about type of food. So in Indonesia, we usually eat rice as a main dish with side dishes like vegetable, chicken, or fish. But in America, they eat bread, pasta, or potatoes as a carbohydrate source. Yeah. And the second is about eating utensils. In Indonesia, it's very common to eat with hands. So Indonesian people always eat with their hands, but in in any occasion, like when they eat fried rice or soup, they will use a spoon and fork. But in America, using hands while eating it's kind of feel weird, and they always use fork, spoon, and knife while they eating. So, and the third is about food taste. So, Indonesian food is spicy and full of seasoning. Like we know, Indonesian people is tolerant with spicy. So tolerant with spicy, and Indonesian food is very full of seasoning and spice. But in America, it tends to be simpler and less spicy. Um, Another difference is about portion size. So in Indonesia, um, it's a normal serving size for one person. So it's enough for one person. But in America, it's bigger portions, often enough for two person in Indonesia. And the last it's about food preference. So Indonesia like to prefer real food or traditional homemade meals. Meanwhile, America is often junk food or fast food, like I said, KFC, McD, and something else. Thank you for listening, and the next explanation will explain by Diva.
Okay, my name is Diva, and I'll be the last presenter for today's topic is discipline. The next slide, I will explain about discipline in Indonesia versus US. Let's start with Indonesia. In Indonesia, we actually have many rules, especially about traffic, public order, and social behavior. But not everyone follows them. There's a growing awareness about discipline and safety, but sometimes enforcement isn't very consistent. For example, people might still ignore traffic lights or park in the wrong places. When it comes to time, Indonesians are often more flexible. Events or meetings sometimes start late, and it's usually accepted as normal. However, it doesn't mean Indonesians aren't disciplined. Many people are trying to change their habits and become more responsible but day by day. Next, US. Now let's look at US. In US, discipline is already a strong part of the culture. People strictly follow traffic rules, and not only because there are many cameras and police, but also because it's part of their social responsibility. US are known for being punctual. Being late is considered rude or disrespectful. Besides that, they have many public facilities that help people stay organized, like pedestrian crossings, subway schedules, and public trash bins. And people there are really respect this system.
So in general, US shows discipline through strong law enforcement, public awareness, and personal responsibility. And the last slide, I will explain about similarities and differences. Now let's talk about similarities and differences between Indonesia and US. The similarities are that both have rule awareness and people who value safety and order. Many Indonesians and US understands that discipline helps improve life quality and community harmony. But the main difference is consistency. In US, rules are applied very strictly and everyone is expected to follow them. While in Indonesia, discipline is still improving, people are becoming more aware, but sometimes still flexible with time and rules. So that's all from me. Thank you for listening, and it's been a pleasure to be that last presenter for today. I'll return it to Qanita.
That's all for our presentation about lifestyle between Indonesia versus United States. Thank you for listening and have a great day.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.